Hey, what's up, YouTube friends? My name's Landon. I'm here with my friend Heather Headley, and we are going to be talking about what God is teaching her. So, Heather, you do a lot of stuff. We were just talking. I just asked her before we started, like, what she's doing. She had like 15 things that she's working on right now. Singing with Bocelli. You're working on a Broadway show.
A Broadway show and a Broadway album. Yeah, both all of the above. Yeah.
When's the album coming out?
I think in a few. I'm finishing up now. It will coincide with the shows, and the first show is in October 12th.
Man.
So it'll coincide with that.
New York?
The first show is in Philly.
Wow.
Yeah. So we hopefully it's the city of brotherly love. So hopefully they will love it.
I told my wife I loved her for the first time in Philly.
Did you really?
Yeah, I thought this is perfect.
I know. If she can't love me here, where will she love me, right?
Absolutely.
It's Philly.
So tell me, what's God teaching you right now, Heather?
Oh goodness, it's been an ongoing, I think an ongoing lesson. I sometimes fail the test and he's like, all right, I'll just get you back into class.
Me too.
And but I think my ongoing test, my ongoing teaching is surrender, because I enjoy being in control. I think for all my life I kind of thought, all right, I'll write the script and I will hand it in to God.
Yeah.
And then I will say, so this is how I need you to work everything out. And I always think he takes the script and he's like, you're funny.
Yeah.
And then he does what he wants. Needless to say, his script is always better than mine. Which is, it always comes in. But sometimes, I'm not too excited about the protagonist he throws in.
Sure.
Or, what I mean, the antagonist, you're like, wait,
Absolutely.
I didn't say, enter Heather, cry. Then Heather cries. It's like, but at the end of the story, it's always great. And for me to surrender to whatever that script is and say, okay, your will be done is it's always a scary thing for people like me, you know what I mean, to be able to say, I'm just gonna let it go, especially children and husband and life and career and everything like that.
And how humbling that was the prayer Jesus himself prayed before the cross.
Yeah.
He prayed a prayer of surrender.
Amen.
When you get to that part in the story, you're just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, because I think it's very scary that he's at that point and he knows what's coming and it's so tough and he's crying and he's just like, okay, your will be done. Man. And I think at that point I'd be like, yeah, I'm out.
So what would you say to somebody who's watching and when you're talking about the list, they're like, oh my gosh, that's what I do. What's the first step in changing to a place of surrender?
You have to acknowledge that he is in control. You have to acknowledge that he's real, I believe. And you have to acknowledge that his script is better than yours. So even if you present your script, these are things I'd love to happen. I always think he comes in with something better.
Amen.
I very, very simple. When we were living in Trinidad years ago, and if you had asked me to write the script, I would say to you, well, I'd love to be Whitney Houston, I'd love to sing, and that's the case. And that script went beyond and above all that I could ask or imagine or dream. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I look things over, not in a haughty way, not in an ostentatious way, but in a very humbled and grateful way. And you kind of think, and I say this in all humility, between the time that we left Trinidad and the time that I got the Tony, I think it was 10 or 11 years.
Wow.
And that's just like a God story.
Yeah.
I couldn't write that if I asked, you know what I mean? So I think with everything, I know even people who've gone through like very tough situations that they said, when I surrendered, that's when everything just worked out, or I saw him and his work and his hand in it. So I think for us kind of control people, it's just the surrender about you're bigger than I am, you know what you're doing, and I'll just let that go.
That's the word for somebody today. Thank you guys for watching, and tell us how God is working in your life in the comments. We're gonna pin one that we really like all the way to the top so other people can see it. So go ahead and write that, and we're gonna be hoping and praying that you join us next time on What's God Teaching You.